Fasting really is something that I believe most people, and definitely not all, but most people can use and will see incredible results with if done right. What's going on, everybody? Schuyler Diehm here, men's fitness coach, and these past few months, I can undoubtedly say that I have gotten in the best shape of my life. Now, I'm not necessarily as strong as I used to be. I had hit peak strength a couple years ago, and then I had an injury that set me back a couple years. But now, in this period of my life, I really believe that I am in the best shape that I've ever been. Meaning, I have built the necessary strength and I'm continuing to grow my strength. But along with that, I also have higher lung capacity and can maintain cardio for longer. I can do HIIT training, I can do running, all of that. And so in this video, I really wanted to break down exactly what I did. I've been into fitness for the past 15 plus years. I've helped probably about 10 clients now get in the best shape of their life. And it's no accident, right? What I teach works, and also what I do works, right? I actually implement what I teach. I'm not just someone blowing smoke at my ass. And so short and sweet, the main thing I did to get in the best shape of my life was 75 hard. Now I'm gonna break that apart a little bit more, but if you want to see my specific recap on 75 hard, you can go to the link in the description. I put together a video talking about my experience, but when looking back, there were really 4 different aspects that made me win, right? That made me burn a ton of fat, that made me shred up, get some muscles, have my six pack showing more. And these 4 things are super simple. So number 1, fasting. I included some sort of fasting in my lifestyle. Now, I am becoming a little bit more flexible with my fasts. What I was doing at the time was a 24-hour fast once a week, every single week. But now I usually do about 1 a week, and then I'll throw in some other longer term fasts throughout each week. So I'll fast for 16 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours. But I'm really implementing fasting, and it's what we teach our clients because I believe it's by far the best strategy for getting in shape. We talk about reducing calories. Fasting is a natural way to do that. We talk about giving the body a break so it can heal, push out toxins, improve digestion. We're doing that. We're talking about optimizing hormones, optimizing metabolism. We're talking about reducing inflammation. Like, fasting really is something that I believe most people, and definitely not all, but most people can use and will see incredible results with if done right. So the second thing that I included was eating real food. Now, if you don't know, with 75 hard, there is a diet aspect to it. And my diet was just eat food closest to its natural form. So I wasn't eating foods with added sugar. I wasn't eating foods with, processed dairy ingredients or processed gluten. I was sticking to a very real diet. The only bread I had at the time was Ezekiel bread. I was only eating organic pasture-raised cheese, pastured eggs, grass-fed butter, and really whenever it came to eating boxed goods like snacks or desserts or anything like that, it was real ingredients. It was maple syrup or honey instead of sugar. It was homemade protein bars rather than processed ones you buy from the store. And what I believe is if you prioritize the right macronutrients and you eat them from real sources, you'll never have to count a calorie a day in your life because your body will automatically respond to what it actually needs and wants. And as long as you're eating whole foods, now you're getting the right nutrients, which is going to allow your body to respond in a specific way. You never see a caveman who is super overweight. You never see someone from a few hundred years ago who is super overweight. And so for me, this was an absolute game changer, was just making sure the food I eat was real food. I didn't stop having dessert. I didn't stop snacking. But whenever I did those things, it was the smart choices with real food. Strategy number 3 that I used is exercising twice a day, every single day. First of all, let's get this out of the way. It's sustainable, okay? You may not think it's sustainable. Obviously, there's a specific way to do it. Obviously, it may not be necessary for everyone. But for me, as I was getting in the best shape of my life, I was having a weightlifting workout, and then once a week, it was more of mobility, deep stretching, and then most other days was a walk. Some days I would throw sprints in there, some days I would throw hikes in there, but most of the times my outdoor workout was just moving my body in a very natural way. Now, why I believe this is the best combo: number 1, resistance training builds muscle mass. Muscle mass boosts your resting metabolism, so it basically makes you burn more calories throughout the day naturally. It also is super healthy for hormones, super healthy for the body. And then walking is one of the most natural things we can do. As human beings, we're meant to walk, and not many of us are getting these steps in. We actually have a video coming out soon about how impactful walking can actually be and why the science backs it up. And so if that's a video that you want to check out, or you want to see any of our other content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But really for me, walking was a massive part of my success, and why I believe it's so effective too. Not only is it natural, but there's also a lower barrier of resistance, right? It doesn't feel like this massive mental mountain to go on a walk, whereas, if you're going to hit leg day or you're going to go for an extreme run, sometimes it's harder to get yourself out of the door. And then along with that, it's really easy to multitask while you walk. If you want to call a friend, if you want to text, if you want to listen to a voice message, there's always ways to make walking a little bit more exciting rather than just doing the same thing over and over and over. So fasting, eating real food, exercising twice a day, and then of course the biggest aspect here is consistency. Now we all know this. We could have the perfect lifestyle. I'm talking perfect, where everything is in line for a week. But if after that week we fall off, there's going to be no change to our body. And so the biggest thing, I failed 75 hard, I think twice before I completed it. Or actually, I think it was once. So it ended up being over 100 days straight of exercising every day, of eating real foods. And what actually broke my streak was sugar actually snuck itself into one of the foods I was eating. So I was still working out every single day. I didn't miss a single day because I restarted the next day. And so for me, that's the biggest thing is you could have a shitty strategy, but if you stay consistent with it, you'll probably see some sort of result. You could have an amazing strategy. If you don't stay consistent, there's going to be no results. And so obviously you want an amazing strategy and to stay consistent, but the point I'm trying to make is that consistency is what's going to make the difference here. So I'm curious, if you think back to the time in your life where you were most in shape, what was going on at that point to make you in shape? Maybe it was as far as back as high school or college where you were committed because you were playing a certain sport. Maybe you were dating someone at the time, you wanted to impress them. Maybe it was just part of your lifestyle. Let me know in the comments, I'm curious, but of course, as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more awesome content. And of course, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.